That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you know? How do you know?
I was myself, I'm not like,
No, and I'm finna come get my own baby. How about that? That's mine.
5 words destroyed an entire family in one breath. You are not the father, spoken in anger, not in truth. Miss Points carries that guilt into the courtroom today, years after the damage was done.
Points, you say you made the biggest mistake of your life by saying 5 words.
Her daughter Cheryl won't even pick up the phone anymore. The relationship is fractured, the silence is deafening, and time has not healed a single thing. Judge Lauren wastes no time setting the tone once that bell rings. There is no going back. Regret has finally met its reckoning.
You claim they were said only out of anger and not based in truth.
Mr. Rowan walks in composed, but there is something quietly shattered behind his eyes. He believed he was Cheryl's father for decades and built his identity around that truth.
Claim getting these results is the first step. Is that correct?
Yes.
Then Miss Points planted a seed of doubt that grew into something neither of them could contain. But here is where it gets interesting. Rowan admits he had his own silent questions long before she said a word.
Your Honor, because I'm here to regain a relationship with my daughter.
Their story stretches all the way back to high school hallways and after-school routines. Miss Points would sneak over to his place while his mother was still at work, and Rowan even recreates her signature whistle from outside his window.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why are you convinced?
Well, not only was it the fact of what she said, I wasn't the father, it's just...
The courtroom laughs, but the laughter fades fast once the weight of what came next settles in. Teenage love, or something that felt like it at the time, produced very real consequences.
Right then, I looked, because I got like multiple other kids, and all my kids, even by different women.
Rowan says he was right there at the hospital and personally chose the name Cheryl himself. He tells it like a man who showed up when it counted, and for a moment the courtroom believes him. Then Judge Lauren asks about the birth certificate, and the energy in the room shifts.
Marcellus knock on the door, and I look out the window, and I'm like, all right. So
His answer comes out slow and uncertain. Birth certificates and him have never gotten along, he says. He confesses he deliberately avoided signing because he did not want to create a paper trail that could be used to chase him for child support.
But never no issue. I was happy when she got pregnant with my first daughter.
Jerome gets dispatched to track down the actual birth certificate, and the courtroom settles into an uneasy wait. While they wait, Rowan tries to lighten the mood by mentioning he claimed Cheryl as a dependent on his taxes.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
Nah, I don't do birth certificates because that's like incriminating myself.
Judge Lauren does not smile. The audience groans audibly. This man attempted to reframe a paternity crisis as a tax strategy, and the room was not having it. Judge Lauren pulls things back to center and reminds everyone what is actually at stake here.
I'm not the biggest fan of child support.
Judge Lauren refocuses and the courtroom mood shifts into something heavier and more honest. Miss Points is pressed on why she ever said those 5 words in the first place.
Please go out and ask a member of the staff if they can locate the birth certificate for Miss Points.
Her answer is both simple and devastating. She was angry, and she wanted to hurt him. She never stopped to consider that her daughter was standing in the crossfire of that anger. One sentence spoken in a moment of rage fractured 2 lives and kept fracturing them for years afterward.
Thank you. So, you say he signed the birth certificate?
Yes.
Then Cheryl takes the stand and the entire room goes still. She grew up hearing whispers and half-truths about whether the man she called dad was actually her father. That kind of uncertainty does not just sting in the moment, it burrows into a child's sense of self.
You did it out of anger.
Yes, I did.
You told him you were not the father.
And quietly reshapes everything. She held herself together on the outside while the inside stayed in pieces. By the time she turned 16, she had heard enough and went directly to her mother demanding real answers.
And so you just decided, I'm gonna say these words to hurt him.
Yes, I know it.
Miss Points looked her daughter in the eye and told her she resembled another man. The courtroom gasped so loudly the air seemed to shift. Judge Lauren's expression moved past surprise and into something closer to disbelief.
That Marcellus was my daddy.
Just a possibility that he was your dad.
Miss Points tried to dismiss it as just saying too much when emotions were running high, but nobody in that room bought it for a second. That was not a careless slip, that was a deliberate wound delivered to a teenager who only wanted the truth.
As Black people, we have all different types
Right.
of hair, and that's just the way it is.
So another man had been in the picture all along. Miss Points admits there was someone else during the same window of time, though she tries to minimize it by saying they only went out a few times. Judge Lauren does not even blink.
She get mad at me, she'll tell me I look like that other guy.
Really?
It does not matter how many times biology does not grade on frequency. The room nods like a congregation hearing gospel. That one biological reality cuts through every excuse Miss Points has brought into the courtroom today. The math was always there. She just hoped no one would do it.
I do. I tend to say the wrong things.
Jerome returns with the birth certificate and the atmosphere tightens immediately. Every eye in that room locks onto that document. The name printed on it is not Mr. Rowan's.
Did you ever tell this man I'm pregnant and tell him that he could potentially be Sherelle's biological father?
Miss Points goes completely still. Cheryl's expression collapses under the weight of what she is seeing. Rowan sits there looking like a man who has just been proven right about something he desperately wished he had been wrong about.
But he wasn't allowed to come to the hospital because Mr. Rowan was there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Lauren reads the name out loud and it lands like a thunderclap. It is the same name Miss Points had reportedly used as a weapon during arguments over the years, throwing it at Rowan whenever things got heated.
Yeah, ma'am.
You are not on Sherelle's birth certificate.
Now that name is official, documented, undeniable. Rowan's face holds layers of emotion that no single word can capture: anger and grief, and a painful kind of relief all competing at once.
Well, that's
Miss Point.
makes me want to just clench my pearls now, cause
Miss Points finally breaks and admits she knew that name was on the certificate from the very beginning. She knew, and she said nothing because she was terrified of losing Rowan. She made a calculated decision to protect her relationship at the cost of her daughter's clarity.
Is this the other man that you would get mad and tell your daughter she looked like?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sense of identity. Judge Lauren's response is quiet, but it cuts straight through in trying not to lose him. She ended up losing her daughter instead. That is the cruelest kind of irony. Love that is built on concealment does not protect the people inside it.
So when Mr. Rowan left, the other man came up to the
Yes,
hospital,
Your Honor.
and then
Cheryl says out loud that she does not even know what she is supposed to feel right now. Hurt and betrayal and grief are all competing inside her, and none of them feel manageable. Then Rowan speaks and the entire energy of the room transforms.
how does it make you feel to hear your mother finally tell the truth?
He looks directly at Cheryl and tells her clearly that regardless of what any test reveals, he is not going anywhere. That singular moment of commit, offered freely and without condition, moves the courtroom more than any dramatic reveal could.
I know it makes you sad.
Cause she been lying this whole time.
Judge Lauren lays out the facts with careful precision. Miss Points was intimate with both men during the conception window, and the DNA results could realistically go either way.
That she was basically having sex with this other man and you at the very same time.
There are no guarantees and no shortcuts to what is about to be revealed. For the first time since this hearing began, the room falls into complete silence. No arguments, no gasps, no nervous laughter.
Before I go to these results, Ms. Points, I ask you this respectfully.
Jerome walks in carrying the envelope, and every breath in that courtroom shortens. The gold seal catches the light as Judge Lauren takes it carefully in both hands. She steadies her voice because she understands the magnitude of what she is holding. Cheryl reaches over and takes her mother's hand. Rowan sits completely motionless, his jaw tight. The seconds stretch out impossibly long, and every heartbeat in that room seems to sync up with the moment.
Mr. Rowan, you are not the father.
Kayla Wilson walks into this courtroom carrying a situation nobody saw coming. One baby, two possible fathers, and those two men happen to be cousins. Cordell and Nathan are both sitting in that room.
He's just like my little buddy.
And what does that relationship mean to you? Can you tell the court?
It means more than anything, 'cause he's the first one I'm actually gonna get to see grow up.
Both hoping, both hurting. Judge Lauren dives straight in, and the emotional current hits immediate. Cordell describes coming home to little Errol crawling toward him, and that bond alone says everything.
And the thought that this could be your cousin's baby, does that eat away at you?
But at the same time, I'm happy because it'd be his first.
Then the story gets a layer nobody was prepared for. The cousins' mothers are identical twins, which means both grandmothers share the same face and are staring down the same crisis from opposite sides of the family. Cordell's mother sent a statement to the court, making one thing crystal clear: she has considered herself grandmother since the very first day.
She's one of the identical twins. Miss McCartney sent this statement. Cordell's the dad. He's been dad since day one, and I've been grandma since day one.
Nathan's mother took a different approach, openly stating she believes Nathan is the father, and even offered to cover the cost of a DNA test when Errol was just a few months old. Whatever their family gatherings look like, they cannot be comfortable right now.
I'll continue to be grandma either way. So your mother's developed a significant bond with Errol as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she believes she's the grandmother.
Kayla pushes back on the narrative that she blocked any testing from happening. She insists she never refused, and that scheduled dates simply never materialized. But then Nathan's aunt, Ms. Endicott, the younger sister of the twin mothers, steps forward with her own version of events.
I even offered to pay for a DNA test when Errol was 2 to 3 months old, and she refused. It's making me crazy.
Her account paints a picture of Kayla telling Cordell he was the father, then turning around and telling Nathan the same thing, leaving both men in a state of suspended uncertainty with no resolution in sight.
It's really messed up me and my sister's relationship, and we're twins. I've missed a year of being a grandma that I can't get back if he's the dad.
Your Honor.
Judge Lauren zeroes in on the dynamic between Kayla and Nathan specifically. Ms. Endicott suggests Nathan's judgment gets compromised whenever Kayla is involved, that he tends to follow her lead without question. Kayla fires back with something that clearly stings. Neither Nathan nor his family was present at the birth.
You're the little sister. What do you know about this man?
I do know that she tells Nathan all the time, "You're the daddy." Then she'll go back to Cordell and say, "You're the daddy."
Nathan explains that he was told the appointment was routine and then received a single text message announcing the baby had arrived via emergency C-section. That is not how a man finds out he may have just become a father.
I just want it done and over with, and if it's Nathan, that's cool. He needs to be a daddy, be in the life. And if it's Cordell, she needs to leave Nathan alone so he can go on.
Nathan describes feeling completely pushed to the margins, as though the outcome had already been decided in Cordell's favor before any test was ever run. Then comes the detail that shifts everything in the room. Kayla placed Cordell's name on the birth certificate.
And Mr. Eddie, why didn't you go?
I was told that she had a doctor's appointment that day, and I told her to keep me updated. And I had no transportation. She went under emergency C-section, and
Judge Lauren's expression sharpens instant. Kayla's reasoning is direct. Cordell was present, stable, and actively involved while Nathan lacked steady employment, transportation, and a place of his own. The courtroom absorbs that quietly, but the tension does not go anywhere.
I just got a message that says he's here with pictures.
Did you feel like all of a sudden you were left out?
The way that the baby was born and he moved away and stuff, it made me feel like she just wanted him to be the dad regardless.
Judge Lauren pushes further, asking whether Kayla would have pursued DNA testing sooner if Nathan had been more accessible and better prepared. Kayla's answer is immediate and unfiltered. She says, if someone told her she had a child, she would find a way to get there by any means necessary.
Oh, you put Mr. Nicola on the birth certificate?
Yes.
Was that because he was with you or because you all made a decision? Was it a three-way consultation?
No, Your Honor.
The room flinches. Cordell holds steady, but Nathan's expression carries everything his words are not saying. Hurt and hope are sitting right next to each other on his face, and neither one is winning.
He was there at the birth, and I felt like Nathan wasn't even ready if it was his own son because he didn't have a job. He didn't have a vehicle. He still lived with his parents, his aunt, somebody.
Ms. Endicott brings the conversation back to the only question that actually matters going forward. If Nathan is the biological father, he needs to fully step into that role without hesitation. If the result points to Cordell, then Kayla owes Nathan a clean and honest release.
He wasn't as committed, which only reaffirmed the reason why you decided Mr. Nicola is going to be the best father for the baby. I'm putting his name on the birth certificate.
And I believed he was. I still believe he is.
It is straightforward and it is fair, and Judge Lauren agrees without reservation. This case stopped being about romantic history a long time ago. It is about building the right foundation around one child.
It's determined that he's not today. Mr. Nicola's on the birth certificate. Where do we go from?
If we decide that Cordell's not the father, it'll have to be changed.
So, Mr. Eddie, were you aware your cousins?
Kayla's emotions begin surfacing in ways she clearly did not plan for. She opens up about a previous pregnancy with Cordell that ended in miscarriage, and how that grief shaped the decisions she made when Errol arrived.
It just really ripped my heart out because I thought she loved me more than to do that. But then again,
You thought she loved you more
She chose what felt stable when everything around her felt uncertain, and she is only now beginning to reckon with the cost of those choices. The weight of that confession settles over the court. This is the moment where decisions and their consequences finally come face to face.
Not enough to not that she wouldn't have done that to me.
When you say done that to me, can you explain?
That she just basically pushed me aside for him to be the dad, is what I feel.
Nathan speaks honestly about what this waiting has done to him internally. He acknowledges the reality that the odds are essentially even between him and Cordell. In a moment that sounds like acceptance but reads like heartbreak.
He's a very good guy. I mean, when it comes to that, we were best friends, and that's kind of how we still are. And that's what I kind of wanted it to always be, and that's what led up to the sex.
He admits that if the result favors Cordell, at least the pain of missing those early months might feel slightly more bearable. That is a man trying to prepare himself for a loss he has not been told is coming. The courage in that sentence is hard to miss.
We were like best friends, and then it led to more than that.
Oh, I get exactly what happened. I really do. If Mr. Eddie is Errol's biological father, have you thought about that? I know you say you believe Mr. Nicola is.
Judge Lauren shifts focus to Errol's daily life, who is showing up, who is present, and what the child's world actually looks like right now. Cordell's bond with Errol sounds deep and consistent.
Me, because now she really wants to be with my big brother, so they've taken my baby and made a family. But I still love my big brother, but I still love the girl.
And his mother's commitment to that grandchild has never wavered. Nathan's side counters that they tried to do the right thing early and were not given the opportunity. Like and subscribe, because what happens next changes everything for both of these families. Two cousins, two grandmothers with the same face, and one little boy sitting at the center of all of it.
Miss Wilson, I need to ask you this, because I feel like that there were parts of these times and these moments where you latched on to him and made him feel like you loved him and there was potential for you all.
Ms. Endicott delivers her sharpest observation of the entire hearing without raising her voice. She says plainly that Kayla needs to stop keeping Nathan in a state of false hope if she already knows where her loyalty lies.
But you two have not spoken an ill word about the other. You all have both cried when you talk about the baby and one another. What is your relationship like?
The camera finds Kayla, and her face does not carry defiance, it carries exhaustion. This was never a game to her, and it shows. But good intentions do not cancel out the damage that prolonged ambiguity causes to everyone involved.
We was real close all through school. I mean, I just want to keep it that way. I don't want no conflict with anybody.
This is just eating you up, isn't it, Mr. Eddie?
Yeah.
I can just see, honey.
Kayla addresses the courtroom and offers something that lands with surprising weight, a genuine apology for the ripple effect her decisions sent through both families. You can sense the history cracking beneath the surface of those twin mothers.
Just for our family, because even me and his mom had a close connection, and me and his mom don't even talk no more.
This is a family divided.
Who share everything except this outcome. Judge Lauren steadies the energy in the room and redirects it toward what has always mattered most. Whatever feelings exist between the adults, this hearing has always been about Errol and his future.
First cousin who could both be the father, and identical twin who could both be the grandmothers. Is there anything you two cousins would like to say to one another?
The courtroom draws a collective breath as Judge Lauren reaches for the envelope. The two grandmothers, identical in face but sitting on opposite sides of the room, both fix their eyes on the same piece of paper.
To anybody that's hurt today, I'm deeply sorry.
If you all are ready for the results, I have them for you.
Hands tighten in laps, shoulders rise. The kind of silence that makes the air feel thicker than usual settles over everyone present. Judge Lauren holds the moment just long enough for the weight of it to fully register.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of...
Every eye in that room moves in the same direction at the same time. From Judge Lauren to Kayla to the two cousins sitting just feet apart, waiting for the same answer from different places of hope. Lips part, breathing slows. The silence before the result feels longer than the entire hearing that came before it. Judge Lauren opens her mouth, and in one single moment, 30 seconds of truth rewrites whatever comes next for this entire family.
The biological father is Mr. Nicola.
Paternity court gets complicated fast, but add two grandmothers, and it becomes a completely different level of chaos. Ms. Johnson has dragged Mr. Taylor before Judge Lake to establish once and for all
Ms. Johnson, you and your mother say
that he is the father of her 2-year-old son, Jaden. Both families arrived fully loaded recordings, documents, and enough attitude to fill the room twice over. Nobody came here to lose, and everybody came here to talk. Buckle up, because this hearing has layers.
even though the father of your 2-year-old son, Jaden Taylor, is the deadbeat dad.
Judge Lake lays out the situation without wasting a single second. According to Ms. Johnson, Mr. Taylor had always acknowledged Jaden without question until roughly 2 weeks before this court date. Now suddenly he is sitting there claiming he is not the father.
Over his house. He was only over there 5 days, and he texted me like, you need to get your son, and I'm not getting him.
And he has brought his mother along as backup, arms folded and clearly prepared to testify. The shift from acceptance to denial happened practically overnight. Judge Lake wants to know exactly what changed and why.
Out of the blue?
Out of the blue, yes. And I have here some evidence, too.
Ms. Johnson explains that Jaden had been staying with Mr. Taylor for a few days when everything unraveled. Without any phone call or direct conversation, she received a message through Facebook telling her to come collect her son until a DNA test was completed.
Till I get a blood test, somebody told me what you said.
Judge Lake's expression tightens the moment she hears this. She turns to Mr. Taylor and asks him plainly whether he actually sent that message. He confirms it without a trace of hesitation or regret.
RS, I won't repeat that. I don't need him another day.
Mr. Taylor explains his reasoning, and it centers on a neighborhood girl who showed up claiming Ms. Johnson had been telling people around the community that Jaden was not his child. Rather than picking up the phone and having a direct conversation, he escalated immediately.
I don't want him another day, and I want him.
So you actually had Jaden at that time?
Yeah.
He then reveals he has a recording and audio clip in which Ms. Johnson's own voice can be heard making a statement about the baby's paternity. Judge Lake does not deliberate. She instructs Jerome to press play, and the courtroom goes completely silent.
I mean, I believe it because she always say stuff like that. Like, she always say that he's not mine.
The audio fills the room, and Ms. Johnson's voice comes through clearly, stating that Jaden does not belong to Mr. Taylor and that another man is the child's father. Gasps ripple through the audience.
No, and I'm finna come get my own baby. How about that? That's mine. That's my baby.
Judge Lake turns toward Ms. Johnson with measured calm and asks whether that is her voice on the recording. Ms. Johnson does not deny it. She confirms it, and the courtroom buzzes with reaction from every corner.
It is me.
This is you telling him it's not his child?
Yes, this is after he messaged me that.
Ms. Johnson is quick to provide context, insisting those words came from a place of raw anger after Mr. Taylor had accused her of being dishonest. Her mother steps in to support her, suggesting that young people in heated moments sometimes say things purely to cause pain.
Let me come get my baby. You said you right, it's not your baby.
Yeah.
Rather than to tell the truth. The explanation is understandable on some level, but Judge Lake's expression makes clear that understanding where hurtful words come from does not erase the damage they leave behind. The recording exists, and it has already done its work.
That he's not Jaden's biological father.
I think he made it up.
The Taylor side is not prepared to move past it that easily. Mr. Taylor's mother steps forward, asserting that Ms. Johnson is unreliable and has repeatedly failed to pick Jaden up during her scheduled time, despite multiple text messages being sent.
And Jalen has something to do. Miss Johnson will not come and get him.
Ms. Johnson comes back hard, saying her son had been battling pneumonia during one of those periods, and that her calls went completely unanswered. The temperature in the room climbs sharp. Both grandmothers are now fully engaged and pulling in opposite directions.
My mama needs to go to the hospital. She never showed up.
Judge Lake works to restore order, but the two grandmothers keep feeding the fire. One claims Ms. Johnson is only in court for financial reasons. The other fires back that Mr. Taylor is not pulling his weight.
Then he want to call. Can you come back and get him and make up all these stories? You hadn't had him in a while. He just, ain't even the truth that you probably...
Courtroom has become something closer to a family dispute than a legal proceeding. Judge Lake cuts through the noise with focused precision and redirects to the one person whose opinion actually carries legal weight here. She turns back to Mr. Taylor with a direct question.
No, it's not.
We hardly talk because I don't like talking to her, as you see it through the voice message. That's how she talks to me.
Had he ever, at any point before 2 weeks ago, denied that Jaden was his son? Mr. Taylor admits he had not. The doubt is entirely new. Ms. Johnson then adds a detail that lands with impact before the doubt ever surfaced.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember when your son said somebody told me that the baby's not mine?
Mr. Taylor was proudly posting photos of Jaden across his social media for everyone to see. Judge Lake absorbs this without blinking. The implication is clear: his certainty only cracked the moment someone else planted a rumor in his ear.
Actually, I didn't hear that until just recently.
Mr. Taylor's mother argues that her son's questions are completely reasonable, given that Ms. Johnson made that statement herself during an argument. Judge Lake acknowledges the point but does not let it become a victory. Words spoken in anger still echo long after the moment passes.
After I left, I messaged Ms. Johnson and told her that she was supposed to come with me to take the DNA test for my son.
And this situation is proof of that. Like and subscribe, because the science portion of this hearing is about to flip everything upside down. One careless sentence created 2 full years of confusion, and a 2-year-old boy is sitting in the middle of all of it.
A schedule one for him. She never
He only
went
went
down
because
there to
child
check her.
support started sitting in the middle. That's why he went.
Ms. Johnson decides to present what she believes is compelling physical evidence. She brings forward Jaden's medical records, pointing to the fact that the child has both eczema and a heart murmur, conditions she says Mr. Taylor also has.
I felt that it wasn't necessary. He wasn't denying them then. I knew he was the...
Judge Lake examines the records carefully and asks whether Ms. Johnson is genuinely suggesting that shared medical conditions confirm paternity. Ms. Johnson nods with visible confidence. Mr. Taylor shifts in his seat and does not look nearly as certain.
Supposedly then. He all over his Facebook and everything else.
Judge Lake calls in Dr. Tasnim Bachia to address the medical claims directly. The doctor is composed, precise, and wastes no time getting to the point.
It's our argument.
The point is because when you get into an argument, Ms. Johnson confirms.
She explains clearly that heart murmurs are not passed down genetically from parent to child. The courtroom absorbs that information in near silence. Ms. Johnson's confidence visibly deflates as the science contradicts the foundation of her argument.
You know that.
Yes.
I mean, you know, once you say that to a man, he's never gonna forget that.
To her credit, Judge Lake does not use the moment to pile on. She speaks to Ms. Johnson with firmness, wrapped in genuine compassion. She acknowledges that Ms. Johnson is young, that mistakes have been made on all sides, and that what matters most now is giving Jaden the clarity he deserves.
Yes.
And a heart murmur.
If you look at...
Just like Mr. Taylor had.
Ms. Johnson responds quietly, her voice barely holding together, expressing that she is simply ready for this uncertainty to be finished. 2 years of doubt have worn her down completely, and it shows in every word.
That the child has in common with Mr. Taylor.
Then the hearing takes a turn nobody anticipated. Ms. Johnson reveals that she ran away from home at 16 and ended up staying at Mr. Taylor's house during that time. Judge.
Murmurs. The plaintiff has asserted that the child suffers from a heart murmur. Also, our defendant.
Lake stops mid-thought and asks her to repeat that. Her mother sits nearby, looking embarrassed, and does not dispute it. The room grows awkward and then unusually quiet as the full picture of how young these two actually were begins to come into focus.
What exactly is a heart murmur?
So a heart murmur is really just an abnormal sound in the heart rhythm.
The story gets even more unexpected from there. The relationship that eventually produced Jaden reportedly started during a game of truth or dare. Judge Lake pauses, blinks, and repeats it back to the courtroom as if confirming she heard correctly.
Understood. Ms. Johnson, after hearing that testimony, are your feelings still the same? Is it the same belief?
A childhood game led directly to a paternity court appearance years later. The audience exhales in collective disbelief. Nobody in that room quite knows how to respond to that detail.
From my mom's house. He knows it. We had played a truth game of truth or dare.
The grandmothers immediately resumed their back and forth, each placing responsibility for the situation on the other household's lack of supervision. Judge Lake has heard enough. She claps her hands once with enough force to silence the entire room.
Dining room, so if I'm never
Well,
there,
everybody walks
I
through your
wouldn't have
door.
never saw her.
And Hank.
Her message is clear, and she does not soften it. These were two young people who needed responsible adults around them and instead got more drama than guidance. The room stays quiet after that one.
To paternity court. And now we have yet another young person in the middle of this thing.
Judge Lake turns to Mr. Taylor and asks him honestly what outcome he is hoping for today. He responds with exhausted simplicity: if Jaden is his son, he will show up fully, and if the test says otherwise, he is prepared to walk away. Ms. Johnson breaks down at that.
Wanted me there.
You were
One
out
at a time, one at a time.
Your son wanted me
One
there.
at a time.
She says she no longer has the energy to argue, but Judge Lake does not accept the surrender. She tells Ms. Johnson plainly plainly that she does care and that Jaden deserves a father who is present and certain. The silence that follows carries more weight than any argument made today.
Difficult because we're dealing with very young people. What are you hoping for?
Judge. Lake delivers the kind of reality check she is known for: direct, grounded, and carrying just enough maternal authority to make it land differently than a lecture. She tells both of them plainly that bringing children into the world before you are equipped to care for yourself
If he's his biological father,
No, he don't. Or you.
Baby.
is a pattern that has to stop. Mr. Taylor looks genuinely humbled. Ms. Johnson wipes tears from her face. For the first time since this hearing began, both sides of the room go still at exactly the same moment.
Let me tell you something, I've been doing this too long.
Jerome walks in carrying the envelope, and the air in the courtroom changes instantly. Judge Lake's voice slows and steadies as she informs the room that the results were prepared by a certified DNA diagnostics laboratory. Ms. Johnson fixes her eyes straight ahead. Mr. Taylor tries to hold himself together and almost manages it. Both grandmothers grip their purses like they are bracing for impact. Whatever comes next will permanently change the story of Jaden's life.
Taylor, you are the father.
Some paternity court cases are complicated. This one is a different species entirely. Ms. Crow walked in claiming her late son was the father of her child Thomas, determined to establish that connection officially.
This is a case of Crow versus Reinhardt.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Crow, you have summoned the defendant to court to prove that her deceased son, J.C. Turner.
Ms. Reinhardt sat across from her, equally determined to shut the whole thing down. From the very first exchange, it was clear this hearing was going to be anything but straightforward.
Fathered your 2-year-old son, Thomas. You want Thomas to know who his father is, and you say that Ms. Reinhardt has done...
Reinhardt did not hold back when given the floor. She accused Crow of exploiting her son financially while he was alive, and suggested this paternity claim was simply the next chapter in that same story. Her position was direct. She believed Crow was after her son's death benefits.
And now it's trying to claim him as her son's father only to get death benefits. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was using Thomas as the vehicle to access them. Crow pushed back just as forcefully, insisting her only motivation was giving her son a confirmed identity to carry into adulthood. 2 women, 1 child, and a grief neither of them was handling quietly.
Ms. Crow, are you doing this just for the money?
It is more than just the money. I would like help with my son, yes, of course, but my son cannot grow.
Crow's account of why she pursued this case carried genuine emotional weight. She described actively working to keep her son's memory alive for Thomas and making sure the child had some connection to the father he would never meet.
And to this point, he doesn't have any real knowledge of his father. You have not talked to him about his father, or have you?
I have.
You have.
It was not about money. She insisted it was about identity and legacy. Then Reinhardt took her turn and the tone shifted considerably. She raised questions about the timing of Thomas's birth and whether it actually aligned with what she knew about her son's life during that period.
Actually, when my son was first born and he was, just a few months old, I would talk on the phone every day with Jay, and I would put him on speakerphone so his son could hear his voice.
Okay.
Reinhardt leaned heavily on her instincts as both a mother and grandmother. She believed she and her son JC shared the kind of closeness where nothing was hidden, and everything in her gut told her Thomas was not her grandchild. Crow then walked the court
Looking at that picture,
I understand.
my son and I had a very tight relationship.
Yes.
And Jay would tell me everything.
through how she and JC actually met, describing a relationship that developed with real emotional depth and eventually led to Thomas's arrival. The story she told was personal, specific, and not the account of someone manufacturing a connection out of thin air.
When nobody else was around, I knew my son inside and out. And I just don't, as a mother, as a grandmother, having 4 babies of my own, my gut tells me.
Then the hearing took a genuinely heartbreaking turn. The court learned that JC had been living with schizophrenia and carried the mental capacity of someone significantly younger than his actual age.
He'd have believed you if you told him the sky was purple.
Well, that's your own opinion. That's your own opinion.
The mental capacity of a 16-year-old.
And this okay, and you know what? He had feelings.
Reinhardt used this information to question whether JC could have truly understood or accepted fatherhood in any meaningful way. But her reasoning did not stop at the medical facts. She also pointed to the fact that Thomas did not physically resemble her other grandchildren as a baby, and that alone, she felt, was telling enough.
He was schizophrenic.
He had feelings.
He was schizophrenic and he had stress seizures.
And I took care of him.
And my son
I didn't leave him because of that.
Mom. And she could have told him that was...
Crow was not about to let that go unchallenged. She countered that her own genetics are dominant and that Thomas carried a clear resemblance to his father regardless of what Reinhardt believed she was seeing. The two women then clashed over the specifics of the pregnancy.
I have strong genes.
So, Ms. Crow, you say your genes are strong as well. Do you see a resemblance to his dad?
My son, he has...
Timeline. Reinhardt added one more item to her list of reasons. JC had a distinctive physical trait present from birth, and Thomas did not share it. That detail involving the position of his feet became its own separate argument in the middle of the hearing.
Silly sense of humor like Jay. He likes to dance like Jay. And, you know, just right there, you can see it. Like his hair, that is Jay.
Crow filled in the picture of what life actually looked like when Thomas was born. JC had been living with her at the time, and his mental state had become increasingly difficult to manage. She eventually made the decision to send him home because she could not reach Reinhardt directly.
Take me to the point in which the baby was born. Was JC participating in the birth?
Okay, so,
Reinhardt disputed this, suggesting Crow never genuinely tried to contact. Despite the falling out, Crow said JC later returned and spent meaningful time bonding with his son before his death. That detail landed differently than anything else said in that courtroom.
Me and JC, at the time we were living together, it was March 2015. I have decided to no longer go any further.
The hearing escalated steadily until both sides were barely speaking in turns anymore. Every claim produced a counterclaim, and every counterclaim produced more heat. But the noise eventually gave way to the only thing that actually mattered: the
percentage of relatedness between Ms. Reinhardt and Thomas Crow is...
results. When the judge read the findings aloud, the outcome was clear and the room felt it. Reinhardt's reasons for doubting Thomas's paternity had not been rooted in facts, and the truth had been waiting patiently the entire time for exactly this moment.
99.6% you are related. That is your grandchild. Ms. Reinhardt, you have never laid eyes on your grandchild.
A 7-month-old baby girl sitting at the center of a relationship slowly tearing itself apart. Ms. Bayo came into court visibly frustrated, saying Mr. Bolton's demand for a DNA test on their daughter Ilana had shattered what used to be a stable and happy home. Bolton was not apologizing.
You say you were furious when the defendant asked you for a DNA test on your 7-month-old daughter, Ileana.
For asking. He had been burned before deceived into believing he was someone's father when he was not, and he was not prepared to bond fully with Ilana until the science confirmed what his gut could not. The history behind this request runs much deeper than this one baby.
Now you claim that request has broken up your happy home. Mr. Bolton, you state you have reason to believe Ms. Beto's child may not be your biological daughter.
The doubt started at the hospital before they even left the delivery room. Bolton recalls the doctor handing him Ilana and making a comment about how surprisingly light her skin tone was, and that single observation lodged itself in his mind and never left. From that moment forward, the remarks kept coming friends.
Looking at him like, what do you mean this baby's white?
Jerome, have you ever heard of such?
But that's a first for me. This is the reason. This is the reason.
Let me see your evidence.
Extended family, strangers in grocery store aisles all noting how light Ilana appeared. Bayo pushed back firmly, explaining that both of their backgrounds include lighter-skinned family members and that Bolton was letting outside voices drown out what he should already know. But the comments had already taken root and were growing.
That's a picture of...
This is a picture of Ileana when she was first born. And when the doctor made that comment, this is the reason why we're here right there.
Okay, Your Honor, let me just say this.
The skepticism did not stop with strangers either. Bolton's own boss looked at a photo of Ilana and openly questioned whether she could really be his child. Every new comment added another layer to the doubt he was already carrying. Bayo pointed out that nobody raised these questions.
That's not what they said, Your Honor. What they were saying, maybe on his side, but my side, they did make some comments, but of course I defended. That's my daughter.
When she was present, suggesting the doubt was being manufactured in her absence. Bolton acknowledged that, but said the sheer volume of external reactions combined with what he had already been through in previous relationships made ignoring the pattern impossible for him.
So I see him all the time in her. I see a little bit of my features, but mostly I see him.
Your Honor, maybe 2 weeks when Ileana came home.
This was not Bolton's first time sitting in uncertainty about a child's paternity. He had been through this before, more than once, and had come out on the wrong side of the truth each time. By his count, this was the 4th situation in his life.
But you weren't.
I wasn't.
And now now you're here again. So, Ms. Beto, you tell me you're a faithful, loyal woman, and I have no reason at this point not to believe you. He hasn't presented any testimony that would say otherwise.
Where paternity had become a question, and those previous experiences left real damage. His doubts about Ilana were not purely about distrust of Bayo as a person, they were about a man who had learned the hard way that assuming the best had cost him before. That context matters, and Judge Lake was listening carefully to every word.
However, I have to ask you, during the last couple years, how old is Ileana? She's 7 months. Last year and a half or so, have you slept with anybody else?
We actually broke up last year around August.
Of a judge, Lake shifted her focus and asked Bayo directly whether she had remained faithful throughout their relationship. Bayo's answer required some unpack. The previous August, the two had briefly separated after she discovered text messages and photographs on Bolton's phone that confirmed he had been unfaithful.
Was hurt. It had been a month later. I just went out, hanging out, and one thing led to another. I saw a guy I liked, but we actually slept together twice. The first time was unprotected, the second time was protected, and after that, as a matter of fact,
he initially denied it when confronted. After the breakup, Bayo admits she briefly became involved with someone else. Like and subscribe, because the timeline of what happened next is exactly what this entire case hinges on.
I spoke to him after that, but we never had any type of relationship or anything.
She wasn't answering my phone calls for a while. After,
Why should I?
I cheated on her, okay? So now we're working on something, trying to get back together.
Bayo was clear and consistent on one critical point. Her involvement with another man happened only after the relationship had officially ended, not before. She maintained that when Ilana was conceived, she and Bolton were together, and she was committed exclusively to him. The trust between them had already taken damage from his own infidelity, and her subsequent choices made the road back more complicated. Judge Lake weighed everything carefully: the history, the timeline, the outside noise, and the personal wounds both of them carried in before preparing to deliver the result that would either rebuild this family or permanently fracture it.
Mr. Bolton, you are her father.